This episode of Weed and Grub is brought to you by Quinn.
Quinn is an all-cannabinoid brand that offers real THC products, everything from edibles to vapes, and they ship to all 50 states.
How do they do that? Well, that's how you read it, right? How do they do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like rhetorical. How do they do that?
Previous Quinn ad reads, I would ask it like I was asking myself and then answering myself because I didn't understand your copy.
How do they do that?
How do they do that? How do they do that?
How do they do that? Well,
that's how you do it. Okay. So Quinn, they can do it because their THC products are all extracted from hemp.
That's right. That's how they do that. All their products are third-party tested, and they use pure, clean ingredients to give you a quality buzz.
Check out Quinn online and use our promo code Weed and Grub at checkout to get 25% off your next order.
Visit myquinn.com, that's MYQWIN.com, and use code Weed and Grub at checkout to get 25% off Quinn's edibles, vapes, concentrates, and more.
How do they do that?
How do they do that?
Oh, it's because you can get it legally in all 50 states and use our code. 25% off is a good deal, too.
I know. It's a
How
great
do they?
deal. How do they
that's
do
how
that?
they do that.
Yeah.
Quinn. When I picked up that stick,
Mm-hmm.
I immediately felt like a child, and I know that you could see it in my face as I was waving that stick around on mushrooms.
Yeah, you were like, this is all I needed at one time.
Man, it brought me back to such a simple time,
Yeah.
just when a stick was enough.
That's what all the, that's what your grandma always says is like, when I was your age, all we needed was a stick and a can.
And you kind of just do.
Yeah, when you're that in touch with your inner child because you're on mushrooms.
Yeah, but I needed that. I needed that ego to be stripped away because I've been so stressed lately that I
Right.
just needed to pick up a stick and
Yeah.
play around and like wave it like a wand.
That's an interesting thought too, is that when you're stressed, your ego is like first and foremost. It's like, when you're stressed, when you're anxious, when you're fearful, your ego is front and center.
I picture it in the front of my brain. Like my third eye is ego.
I
Like-
just pictured a little tiny person with like levers, like just, running the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How big are the levers? How heavy?
Like little matchsticks just up on your forehead.
Oh, is there steam coming out of my ears? Like, what are we looking at?
He was just like kind of like an erector set, just driving the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely has not been 0 days since my last freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I needed that. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for not looking at me some type of way for just picking up a stick and then being so calm and happy just holding a stick in my hand.
It was real nice. It was a good feeling.
Yeah,
I was
right?
with you. I was with you for it.
Were you tripping too?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure where you were at. Well, first, what up, Mary Jane?
How's it going, Mike?
So good. What a deliciously exciting episode we have today.
Our very first live musical performance on the podcast from Micah Nelson.
Yeah, coming to you live from Top Tree Studio. Shout out to producer Mark for making this happen and making it sound so good. After we stop, Mark goes, "Yo, that sounds so good in the microphone." So we end with 2 songs by Micah today. So, not that you're not going to listen to the whole thing anyway, but just know live music coming to you live from here, Top Tree Studio. So dope.
And this is a podcast about cannabis,
Comedy,
culture,
cooking,
calling shit out,
and
creativity, connection, the vibe, the flow,
yeah,
all that good stuff.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
duality.
Mhm.
I'm feeling very good.
Yeah, I am too. My eyes are feeling pretty sparkly. We've got some of that outdoor sun-grown Mendocino to spark up. I mean, I know we have a big day, so I'm sort of trying to. Do you ever really plan out your day with your weed and snacks, or are you just sort of like a spontaneous person?
You have not seen the details of some of the lists I have in my notes. Like if anyone hacks my iCloud, they're going to be like, "Nah, we pass." Like it's so down to the microgram that I've listed out sometimes just because it gives that kind of sense of control, and putting it on paper makes me feel like I'm actually going to execute all of this, from smoking to snacking to working to adjusting. And it sets me up to go with the flow.
Yeah. I've been feeling sort of loosey-goosey lately after the, whole entry into our birthday season being very indulgent.
I got alcohol poisoning in Vegas.
I feel like you really did.
I did.
Yeah.
My body stopped.
Yeah.
My brain was like,
There were a couple of days where I just didn't see you.
Yeah, you know why?
Yeah, you were like in a burrito under your blankets in bed.
100%. No amount of water was going to fix the damage I did to myself in Vegas. No, and also I have no apologies for it, but I poisoned myself.
It was, yeah, and had a great time doing it,
Had
I
a
guess.
great time doing
Yeah.
it.
So I definitely have felt like I need to, I mean, I've had some really good resets with mushrooms lately, which has been just awesome, but I'm going to go back to a bit of a regimen now. I need some planning in my life, especially just with all of the stuff we've got going on, like being on the road and, you know, trying to execute a bunch of different stuff. I'm like, oh, I actually need to sort myself out. So my fridge is full of things I want to eat, and I'm not just randomly grabbing things that then hurt me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. When all you have is like frozen pizza
Yep.
in the freezer,
Yeah.
you're going to be eating a lot of frozen pizza.
I was so excited the other day. I went and found some hearts of palm linguine, which I had initially found at Trader Joe's last year. And I was so stoked about it because I was like, you know, I love hearts of palm. I know it tastes weird to some people, but like a pasta alternative that is made from something that I actually really like that's just plant-based, fucking delicious.
Wait, let me do a news bulletin
Oh,
thing. Dun, dun, dun. Because it's back, right? It was
Right.
taken off the shelves.
It is back.
Dun, dun, dun.
Trader Joe's has hearts of palm linguine again.
Dun, dun, dun.
I bought 5 packs.
You did?
Yep.
Yeah, you got to hoard that stuff. That's the toilet paper of the noodle world.
That and the cacio e pepe puffs. You got to get them while they got them.
Yeah, that was so funny when we were at Comedy Campout Festival, both performing on it, and we went through Antelope Valley, and there was the we were just missing the super bloom by a week.
Yeah.
But we get to the very top of that one plateau, and you see those 2 girls snacking and walking, and they had cacio e pepe puffs, and you said 3 times best snack, and they didn't turn around. And you're like, hey, that's a really good snack, and then they didn't turn around. And you're like, I love those puffs, and they didn't turn around. I was like, those are really good, and they're like, thank you, and I felt like I had your back.
Yeah. They didn't want to listen to some random woman shouting them at them on a hilltop, but they would listen to a cute guy being like, yo, number one snack. 100% what it was. Are you kidding? Those were like 2 college age girls who heard the guy
talking about snacks.
Yeah, but didn't hear the random person who's like, what is she, my aunt? I can't tell who she is. Be like, I really like your cacio e pepe puffs. It just took you being like number one snack, and they were like, hey, thanks. Yeah, that was classic. I totally. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, speaking about things that you can or cannot get out in the world, whether it's hearts of palm noodles or cacio e pepe, or if it's something like cannabis.
Oh, yes.
You can always get something like Quinn because it's legal in all 50 states, which is a beautiful way to go. So if you like getting high and you don't live in a state where weed is legal, definitely check out Quinn, QWIN. And I'm going to bust out some of these cookies because they rock.
So they're an alt cannabinoid brand. They are sourcing all of their cannabinoids from hemp. They've got all of these different cookie flavors. Right now, Mike is pulling out an orange pistachio, peanut butter marshmallow. They've got a double chocolate cappuccino, dark chocolate cappuccino, which is my favorite. And
coconut dragon fruit, which I had. Also, each cookie is 50 milligrams. And so I ate a half a cookie and then let it kick in. And then I ate the other half. Perfect sweet spot for me because I wanted to like ride the first crest and then make sure I hopped on a second wave.
Oh,
and awesome. I rode the dragon.
Yeah, the coconut dragon fruit.
Yeah.
Nice. Not heroin.
Oh, no.
Because that's a heroin reference.
Hey, Quinn wrote that copy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the copy.
You rode the coconut dragon fruit cookie made from hemp-sourced cannabinoids.
Yes.
Nice.
Speaking of hemp, we talk a lot with Micah about hemp. So this is like also a great alternative. Use code WEED and GRUB at checkout for 25% off all of your Quinn delights.
That's right. And they are available in all 50 states because under the 2018 Farm Bill, hemp is available for shipping across state lines, which is very cool. I'm glad they're getting creative with it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to finish up the copy. Mike, thank you for making that
awesome dragon
joke and reference towards another thing. Another thing. Oh, well, they wrote it. All right. Well,
yep.
Great.
We'll call this episode Chasing the Dragon. Not about heroin, though.
Right. It's a fruit sponsor.
In a cookie
with Micah Nelson.
Perfect.
Do you want to get to the news?
Yes, let's get to it.
All right. The news this week is from marijuanamoment.net. And it's breaking news, at least today when we're recording this. Nevada police are exploiting a marijuana scheduling loophole so that they can make arrests despite legalization. And the ACLU is filing lawsuits against them to stop this nonsense.
So Nevada legalized cannabis for medical and adult use, I think in 2018, like right around
2016.
Oh, yeah. So it was right around the same time that California went legal. And they're still arresting people in Nevada. Did I say Nevada? It's Nevada or Nevada? How do you say it?
Which do you feel you prefer?
I feel like it should be Nevada. And I feel like
Nevada.
me saying Nevada is me
Mark's
being a weird
nodding.
Canadian. Okay, sorry everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. Nevada.
You call it Les Vegas, right?
Las Vegas. Las Vegas, Nevada. Ho, ho, ho. But they're still arresting people, which is crazy because it's a
Schedule 1 drug.
Yep.
So
at a federal level.
Because of that federal level Schedule 1 nonsense,
Right.
they're still arresting people. And so the ACLU is trying to put a smash on that. Because also, let me find out exactly how much money Nevada made from
Oh, you just said Nevada.
Yeah, that's how I say it. I say it the right way.
Damn it.
They sold more than $1 billion
worth of legal cannabis to medical and adult use consumers.
Yep, while arresting motherfuckers on the side.
Wild. And I know I did read this really quickly. The lawsuit is being filed on behalf of someone who was arrested. And, I just hope that they take it all the way to the top and they get this nonsense sorted out. Because if you're getting arrested for an amount of cannabis that is legal under state law in that state, I feel like that's just... that should be illegal.
It should be illegal too, because if I'm just like picturing the police station where the captain is like, what quota are you hitting? Like, why? My big thing with that is like the why. Like, is the prison industrial complex so fucking like?
Is it Big Pharma? Did Big Pharma donate a whole bunch of money to that campaign?
Yeah, is it a lobbyist kind of situation?
Well, I do
what
know
are we looking at?
Las Vegas, specifically the owners of the hotels on the Strip are very anti-cannabis because they're very concerned that weed in the casinos would stop people from drinking and eating. And spending money on the casino floors. And I know that when I'm really stoned, I don't necessarily want to hit a slot machine. I'd rather like go, do something fun outdoors or maybe get out of that casino. But also I eat a ton and like spend money, walking around at cannabis festivals.
Yeah.
Like they've been proven to be a great model.
You hear that, Cosmopolitan? I wouldn't have had alcohol poisoning if I could just eat a bunch of edibles and still go to Momofuku every night.
Exactly. That's
it's
the
your
way to
fault,
do it.
not mine.
That's right.
Yeah.
If we'd have been legal in that casino, we would have had a perfectly great time and you wouldn't have felt broken.
So once the ACLU kind of gets this smash, maybe we can tackle the Cosmopolitan's policy on selling me weed.
Yeah. And I think we take it all the way to the top. We go to the feds and we're like, listen, guys, we need you to fix this so Mike stops hurting himself.
Your Honor.
Your Honor. I mean, that's the coolest thing about cannabis and psychedelics. We've been talking about it a lot lately about how, cannabis and like they can be anti-addiction. They can get you off some harmful drugs. They can help you treat depression, all that kind of stuff. The plant medicine is the greatest. And of course, the places that want you to continue drinking a ton of alcohol and smoking cigarettes in a place where they're pumping oxygen into you so they can take your money. They're against it.
I can't believe it. But on the police side of things, still arresting people for this, even though it's legal, is like, it's nasty.
It's nasty.
Evil.
Yeah.
It's evil.
It's bad.
Yeah. So as things unfold with that, I will keep an eye on it and hopefully have updates. Hopefully the main update being it's not happening anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I just pictured you with a loop, like literally keeping an eye on things like breaking news, Mike Glazer, Sherlock.
Yeah.
Holmes.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye on that situation.
And definitely not Death of Annihilating It, because that movie was trash.
Oh, wow. That movie was so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did not help that movie.
No. In fact, I remember when
perfect edible and I was like, oh God, no edible can help this.
No edible can help this. Shout out to Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh.
As Hercule Poirot. So good. The movie, a lot of holes. Not sure. Too much dancing. Didn't really understand it.
Terrible bummer of a setup for why he has a mustache. It was like, start off with like a World War I scene where everyone gets blown up. I was like, oh no. I thought this was supposed to be a romp.
Everyone just turned it off because everyone loved Death of the Nile. And here we go. I knew it wasn't going to be possibly for us when our producer, Mark, when he was like, what are you guys going to do tonight? And I was like, I think we're going to eat some edibles and watch Death of the Nile. And Mark did not say anything.
No.
He's like, I'm going to keep my opinion to myself.
Quiet coyote.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
it was real bad.
It was bad.
Great.
Oh, I want to do one more shout out.
Okay.
If it's okay. I just want to shout out Papa and Barkley. I know it's on our table here right now, but as far as an edible goes that I have been enjoying
so
today,
delicious. Yeah,
really love their new PB and Kitchen situation. So thank you so much for letting us try those.
Yeah, you can check them out at Papa, and I think it's pandbkitchen.com. That'll take you to all of their info and their new
this
line.
This isn't an ad. I'm not looking it up.
Nope, but we went to their party and they had goats in a dab station and it was the best.
They did have goats,
and they've got rosin infused gummies and hash infused chocolate, and it's totally delicious. And I'm really enjoying it. Yep. Good shout out. Good call.
Thanks.
Yep.
Not an ad.
Well, should we get to Buds of the Week in our intro for our VIB, Micah Nelson?
Absolutely. Do you want to go first or second for buds?
I will go first. I wanted to make my Bud of the Week Gentleman Toker, which is a website that is in DC based, but now moving beyond DC. They're covering cannabis culture and reviews and all of that kind of stuff out of DC. They're really interesting on the policy front. They're keeping everyone updated on what's going on with Initiative 71, which is the law that legalized cannabis for adult use in DC and then was immediately like shelved by Congress in the most infuriating fucking bureaucratic nightmare. And so Gentleman Toker is run by a guy named Joe Tierney. I was on his podcast a while back. I write for Gentleman Toker and I work with them as an editor, and they're just doing really cool interesting work that I think will be really neat to follow as they evolve, because I feel like they were in on the ground floor as so many people rushed to the East Coast to try and get in on what's happening there. They've been doing it for, I think 5 or 6 years. So shout out Gentleman Toker. You can follow them on Instagram at gentleman.toker. And they're my buds of the week. And also shout out to Liz, our friend Liz Whiting. She also works with them. So they're, they got some of us West Coasters on their East Coast.
The best of the West?
Mm-hmm.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Cool. My bud of the week this week is Winston Carter at Winstonius. Winstonious. Winstonius. Winston is awesome.
I laughed so hard.
He is a funny motherfucker. He knows how to get down. He's also an insane barbecue cook. Look at the smoke ring on this.
Oh my God.
Right?
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying? Look at the smoke ring on that. And so we had a great time at the Comedy Campout Festival, and you had not met Winston before, but as soon as we all started hanging and chatting and smoking and sipping, we got deep into the smash burger game. And you have not experienced a lot of smash burgers here in California or Portillo's. So we're going to have him on the pod. I know, right? She's never had Portillo's. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have Winston on the pod, and we are going to have to do a Mary Jane. Here's what you need to try. Working title. Here's what you need to try. In the California game.
I mean, I feel like he was so indignant and so like low-key pissed at you that there was all this stuff that I didn't know about. He was like, "What are you doing?"
He goes, you have one of the biggest podcasts out there and you have not tried Portillo's?
He was just incensed, and I appreciated how incensed he was on my behalf that I was missing out. So yes, I can't wait to have him on the pod.
Yeah. So check out Winstonius, and he will be coming on the pod. We've been DMing about it. Incensed.
Yep. Absolutely.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Have you had Burgers Never Say Die?
No, that's the one I think that made him the craziest.
Have you had Culver's?
No.
Oh.
I know. I'm a wee little fresh baby when it comes to all that stuff. I just had Cheesecake Factory for the first time. Like I'm like a, just like a blank slate.
A snack slate.
I'm a blank snack slate.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, that's my bud of the week.
Awesome.
Yeah. You want to get to our VIB, our very important bud?
Micah Nelson, aka Particle Kid, came on the pod, and I kind of can't believe it. It was just the coolest experience. He plays us a couple of songs, one off his new album Time Capsule, and we get into it about the album and the sort of like all the multimedia aspects of how he created this during the pandemic and what Time Capsule means in addition to the title of the album. And it was just amazing to meet him and his wife Alex, who was here for the recording as well. And
yeah, and get into hemp. I think the other exciting thing after doing this interview with Micah is now I want to re-listen to Time Capsule with the understanding of not only what is important to him, but like how he was thinking about this project as a whole. Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna get stoned, close my eyes, and drift away into my own psyche.
Yeah.
Time truly.
Capsule is available as of April 22nd. Get your copy and check out our interview.
Okay, that's it. Without further ado, here's our interview with
Micah Nelson. Mike, I know you love a good buzz.
I am a good buzz.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're on the road doing comedy, maybe you're wondering what you can bring when you're traveling to a state where cannabis isn't legal anymore. You might think there aren't a lot of options.
I didn't think there were a lot of options. And honestly, it is very frustrating to be on the road and go to a state that doesn't have legalization. And I don't want to get in trouble, but I want something like Quinn, and Quinn is a great option for anybody.
Yeah. Quinn is an alt cannabinoid brand that is selling real THC products, everything from edibles to vapes, and they ship to all 50 states.
How do they do that? Well, I'll tell you, they have THC products that are oil extracted from hemp.
All extracted.
all extracted from hemp.
It's amazing. All of them are third-party tested, and they only use the cleanest ingredients to give you a quality high.
A must try is their extra potent 200 milligram Delta 9 Scissorp. It's the THC we all know and love, but it's legal in all 50 states.
Because it's derived from hemp. And you can use our coupon code to get 25% off your next order. Just type in Weed and Grub at checkout.
Type it in, use your thumbs. I think that you're going to probably use an index finger for the W. Go to myquinn.com. That's myqwin.com and use promo code Weed and Grub for 25% off. If you live in one of the 50 states, get some Quinn.
Get some Quinn.
I think Alex Gray was my intro to Tool.
Yeah, absolutely. You found his art before.
Oh, the
Yeah.
visionary artist? The
Yeah,
psychedelic
my
artist?
Aunt Bobby gave me this book for my like 13th birthday that Alex Gray wrote called The Mission of Art. And that's where I just, when he talks about where he did Tool's artwork and live painting and everything.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's this band?
Did you read that book and like it opened up for you the possibilities of what you can create yourself?
Definitely.
Keep going, please. That's so cool because I'm that's gonna tie into Time Capsule, I have to assume.
Yeah, I mean Alex Gray's whole trip is so archetypal, and everything about his life and his work, it's all intertwined in this symbolic arc. And and then his use of psychedelics and altered states to sort of channel these visions into his work, that's definitely had a big impact on me.
That's awesome. I think the thing about someone like that too is thank God he's so talented, because if it was all trapped up here in his mind and he wasn't able to create that art for all of us and himself, like, oh, it'd be such a bummer,
So it's just
for everyone.
Yeah. Like for your journey through, do you prefer musician or artist actually?
I don't know. They're all kind of the same thing.
Okay.
I probably artist because I've always thought of music as like a artistic medium, I know like really good musicians who are musicians, and I've always felt like I'm just kind of an imposter. I'm like using sound to paint visual ideas with or something. And I think it maybe the term art encompasses more than music does.
Well, I feel like that's a good spot to jump into Time Capsule, because there's so many different aspects of what you did as an artist to create this piece, including the physical time capsule that accompanies the album. Yeah, I know we've been recording for a minute, but
Yeah, we're doing it.
yeah,
This is it.
It's happening.
It's happening in real time.
it is happening. So that's what I would love to just hear about the album and the concept behind it and how you created the capsule.
So I came up with the idea. It was like March 2020. Shit was hitting the fan. We were in Austin, me and Tony and Aaron, drummer and bassist. And we had gone to Austin to do the Luck Reunion, which is the festival we have at our ranch out there. Annually. And I thought, well, let's go like a week before. We'll go into the studio there with our guy Steve Shady, engineer, and we'll cut some songs just to do it. I wasn't thinking that we were making an epic album, but
It's a
I had
good way
these
for the
songs.
flow to get in.
Yeah, I wanted to try to capture what we were doing, and I had a handful of songs. Some of them that I had just written, some of them that I'd written years before but never really recorded. And during this session, it was like, oh, the world is stopped and there's a pandemic and like everyone has to stay inside basically. So we were more or less quarantined in the studio for a few days, and that was lucky to have the creative focus, something to channel our chaos into. During that whole session, I just started to feel like, I don't even know why or where it came from, but I just started thinking about you know, music and songs, and especially albums as these collections of documented moments in time, and they're frozen in these tangible forms, and they're like time capsules, you know. It's like you hear an album and it takes you back in time, probably more than anything. It's like, I think it's the closest thing we have to time travel is music, and particular songs that maybe you were going through something profound when you first heard it, or maybe someone you were in love with turned you onto this album, and maybe you went through a whole lot of shit or whatever, like something that imprinted your nervous system, and these songs were the score for that moment in your life, right? And so you hear them and it immediately takes you back in your consciousness. And I just got really interested in that idea. And the first thing I thought was, whatever this music becomes, like, I think the album will be called Time Capsule. And when COVID happened, I decided I didn't want to, I'd had a bunch of songs from like the past 5 or 6 years that hadn't come out on anything. And I was trying to figure out, do I put them out as like a bunch of EPs or what? I wanted to get them out, because even if you have a finished album, it's like, it takes so long for it to finally come out. You know, you have to do all the stuff and the marketing and all that stuff. And I'm already on to the next 3 albums in my head 100%. By the time it comes out. And so I was like, God, you know, we might not even, who knows what's going to happen, if we're even going to live through this thing. I want to get all of it out. So I thought, well, if it is a time capsule, I mean, you put everything in a time capsule. It's like, it can be random artifacts that are of that time, you know? So I thought I'll just put it all together in this collage. And ultimately, when we were figuring out how to put it out, and like nobody had any money and all the vinyl plants were backed up or burned down, I just thought, well, why don't I make some actual time capsules?
That's so cool, man.
We watched the making of video.
Oh yeah.
The behind the scenes of like from the seeds of the hemp all the way through you stripping the hemp and putting it through a wood chipper and making the hempcrete and then producing the capsules and hand painting them. It was like such an incredible project to accompany the music. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think it speaks to how badly we need our industrial hemp infrastructure back in the United States. You know, World War II level hemp infrastructure with decordicators and all that stuff, because it's really hard to do it by hand, you know, and all that. It takes a long time. But when I was thinking about what do I make these time capsules out of, like, what material stands the test of time better than anything?
Plastic.
Plastic, exactly. And then I was like, but fuck plastic. I don't want to make, you know, more plastic. There's already too much of it. And I thought, well, hempcrete is fireproof, lasts 1,000 years. You know, it's insulating, it's regenerative. Why don't I make these time capsules out of hempcrete? And it actually was, it was a journey to get to that realization. At first there were gonna be these like these like steel pipe things, and I'm going around to all these plumbing warehouses trying to find, you know, wholesale priced steel pipes. There's gonna be like 300 of them, and my manager called me and he was like, hey, so I don't know if it's the best look to be mailing out a bunch of steel pipes to all of your fans.
Shaped the way these are shaped.
They look exactly like bombs. He's like, You look like you're making a bunch of pipe bombs, and you're sending them out to people in the mail. I was like,
Over the
oh,
pandemic.
During the
shit.
pandemic.
Yeah, during the
when
pandemic.
things are very unstable.
It's like, oh,
People are not feeling
okay,
good.
yeah. And we tried to find companies that could make hempcrete time capsules after that. And ultimately I was just like, you know what? I know how to make hempcrete. Anyone can make hempcrete if they have the material, the hemp, the inner core of the hemp stalk. Is that Meredith?
Yeah.
Hey, Meredith.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No,
hi.
no.
What's up, Meredith?
That's Mike and Mary Jane and Mark.
Yep.
Mark. So I was trying to find companies that would make, like a hemp bioplastic composite in this shape. And it was just such a, because of all the red tape still, we don't really have enough businesses that are, able to just freely produce this stuff for a reasonable cost yet. So I just thought I'll make them. I can't make 300 of them probably, but I'll do 20 of them.
Cool.
So
each one is one of one then.
Yeah.
In their own way.
They're
Like
all handmade by
hand-painted.
me. They're all totally, they're all these, looks like dinosaur eggs.
Yeah.
They screw open. They have, little cavity inside, but they're all handmade and a little different in character. They're painted slightly differently, and I used like Floetrol and paint on a lot of them. And
Oh, that's why it has that like
swirly.
swirl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Alex Gray would be proud.
Yeah, I hope so.
Can I try and repeat the concept of Time Capsule? Because I think I have a handle on it, because we listened to as much of the album as we could, because there was like there's like a couple songs on that are out already, not the full album. So the idea is, if you get one of these 20 time capsules, you'll not only get the album Time Capsule, and you'll also get hemp seeds from your farm.
Yeah.
From your farm, which is awesome. And then there's also a concert ticket for the future.
Yeah.
Could we talk about that crazy cool concept for a future concert?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a general admission ticket, and it's good from January 1st, 2042 till December 31st, 2042.
I love that so much.
It's good anywhere Particle Kid is performing. There's only 20 of them. And the only way to acquire one of these time capsules that has all of that content in it is to buy one of the lucky CDs that has a time token inside of it. It's got a QR code on it, and you scan that, and then you can redeem that for a time capsule.
So it's a Particle Kid golden ticket kind of situation.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Holy cow. What a
That's all
2-year
I'll say about
endeavor.
Yeah.
Dang.
And now the album is coming out on the 22nd, I think.
The digital album, so all the music that's on it will be out on the 22nd, along with a new video that me and Alex made.
Yeah.
And but it's it's not like the whole project is just dropping on April 22nd. It's like you can hear all the music that'll be inside the time capsule, that'll be on the CD and all that. And oh yeah, CDs I think will be out too.
That's
So
cool.
we'll have those on tour.
My dream is that the next time we meet is 20 years from now at one of your shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just be like, what's been happening? Like, how you been? That would be very cool.
Exactly. It's like a long form time experiment. Yeah, where will we be? Who will we be? Like, how will we have changed? What will we have lost or gained? And how will this music feel different? What will it represent to us in our lives?
You saying that makes me think of a quote that I read that I believe you gave to an interviewer for Rolling Stone. You were saying that crisis can push us to evolve more quickly.
Shit makes the flowers grow.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Are you still feeling that way?
Well, yeah. I mean, no matter what time we're in, there's always it's always going to suck and it's always going to be amazing. It's all mixed together all the time because we live in a duality, you know, and I think something that I wanted to get across in this music and this project was kind of transcending the idea of the end of the world, you know, transcending these apocalyptic narratives that we've self-perpetuated for thousands of years.
Yeah.
I think they've kind of kept us trapped in this code that is it's a outdated software or something, or keeps us from leveling up, transcending, you know.
100%.
That's really heartening to hear because, you know, I think especially when COVID hit and then everything that's happened since then, and people are talking about the end times and it's all over, and it really is a return yet again to that.
We've been talking about the end times for a million years.
Yeah.
It's been on like the sides of buses, I think, since I was born. Like,
Yeah.
warning.
There's always been that guy on the corner with the sign with a lot of writing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, I definitely can relate, like probably you guys too. Like I feel like my generation is really, at least in the context of the last 50 years, maybe not even though, like I was just gonna say, you know, I felt like ever since I was born, the world's been ending, you know, whether it was Y2K or 2001, you know, 9/11 or 2012 or COVID and climate change and all this. It's like, it feels like we're just sort of descending into madness and chaos. But I don't think that's really the whole picture. I think that's the picture we kind of have to focus on and not ignore, you know, all of the problems and the chaos. But I think that probably every species endures just a complete unraveling before they're able to, you know, update and kind of break free from anything that's been holding them back, and recognizing what it is about the habits that are useful versus the things about the novelty that are useful, and likewise the things that are not useful about our habits and traditions, and the things that are not useful about pushing too far and you know, in forward.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty obsessed with self-actualizing for myself. Like, I really want to, like, I want to be an evolution of the Glazer timeline that like does take that big leap. Like, I want that on my back, and I really like how that feels to be like, no, I think that I can achieve more than I think I can achieve. I want to see how much I can evolve.
Yeah.
And it's super important to me. But I get in my way with it because then I start taking my art and comedy and everything so seriously that it suffers. And
Yeah.
somebody like Mary Jane will say like, yo, you need to chill the fuck out. Like, you're not funny anymore.
Yeah,
you're not funny
putting
right
too much
now.
pressure on it. Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. So it like, how does that go for you? I mean, not only coming from the legacy you come from, but when you start making your own music that feels good to you, like, how do you get out of your own way, or do you beat the shit out of yourself to do it?
I think we go back and forth.
Yeah.
I think we have to beat the shit out of ourselves to realize, oh, why are we beating the shit out of ourselves? And then the more you do that, I think the more second nature it becomes to just get out of your own way, knowing that you have to do that if you're gonna, like, it's like you have to really trust in that. And that's so hard for a long time, I think, and probably forever. You know, we go through trying to reconcile those things. Yeah, I never really
Do cannabis and psychedelics play a part in that for you, of getting out of your own way,
Definitely.
or hearing your music or your work
Yeah,
differently?
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely have had some of my most liberating ideas under the influence of altered states of consciousness, whether it's from cannabis or psilocybin or LSD or DMT or any of those.
Maybe mix them.
Yeah, sometimes you do. I think that we're gifted consciousness, and we should be free to explore our own consciousness. And doing so has brought me to that place, maybe more than anything. Stream of consciousness, drawing, transcendental meditation. But I spent a lot of time eating some acid or some mushrooms and smoking a joint and doing stream of consciousness drawing, in my youth. And that, I think, taught me more about myself than anything I've ever done. And even totally sober doing that, like it helps to have the reference, though. We've gone through that psychedelic experience, or you've had that altered state with cannabis, that helps show you, how to get out of your own way, that it's possible. It opens the little room, and like, hey, you have this room in here. You can visit this room anytime you want.
That's awesome.
That helps a lot, because
Yeah.
then it's possible, and you don't really need it as much. Like, I don't, I barely even smoke weed these days.
Are you more tapped in than, like, you found a tapped innedness to yourself right now, where you're like, I think I'm really in a good place?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's awesome.
It's that, like, I've probably just, I've been so high so many times that not being high is like a buzz. It's like more
That's cool.
novel.
Mhm.
And also, I think how our body chemistry changes every 7 years. Our cells are completely new, like they're completely regenerated. We're like literally different people every 7 years. And I think around my mid-20s, weed in particular started affecting me differently. I would, like, if I smoked too much, I would just freak out and have a panic attack. And it's like, oh man, I used to smoke all the time and go to school,
Yeah.
Everyone's like, whatever.
Fuck yeah.
And I think it's like a combination of chemistry changing, and also, the older you get and you kind of are more aware of how terrifying the world is. And
Dude,
you
that
you
was
have
my
more
worst.
responsibilities, and
Mhm.
Yeah, like all of a sudden I had to like go to the bank, and I was like, I
Oh,
need to be
geez.
high for this. And then all of a sudden I'm like paranoid at the bank high. And
Yeah.
I was like, man, just go to the bank, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third dimension is underrated.
I recently tried to do my taxes while on mushrooms, and it didn't
Oh, geez.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
No, but you held a receipt for like an hour.
Yeah, I held a receipt and just looked at it. And was like, oh, this is meaningless. Moving on from that.
Well,
do you-
for effort.
Yeah. Do you, listening to your music and the sort of psychedelic nature of it and the future folk nature of it, I wanted to ask you about like where you see psychedelics and cannabis fitting into musical culture now, as opposed to, like the sort of like the revolution of the 70s and how they fit into music. Do you see it fitting in a different way now?
I think it's way different in that back then it was a very just purely countercultural thing, or it became that. It wasn't at first, right? It was studied in clinical trials and proven to cure addiction and depression, and it was having amazing, miraculous results. And then and then like, you know, Timothy Leary kind of blew open the box, and inevitably people started abusing it, and it just became synonymous with counterculture, rebellion, and all of this. And there was some good that came out of that too, but I think ultimately it set us backwards too. But now it's encouraging because like everyone and their grandma is microdosing psilocybin, and you know, the laws are opening up. I mean, the war on drugs is basically over at this point, more or less, in most of America.
Like we're in the rebuild repair stage in some areas, right?
We're in the stage where collectively, like, we're starting to get out of our own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to the alternative. You know, I think we went over the edge, and now that we went over the edge, we see, oh, that's where the edge is.
Totally.
So let's go up to it and look down and gaze at the vista and like not jump off, at least not without a parachute.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I would like to see, instead of, you know, I mean, I think it's great that people are making loads of money from marijuana, but I also think that it sucks that so much of that money has been controlled by the massive mega Walmart weed, you know, kind of corporations and the big corporate growers taking over everything. And it's just kind of like, that can't happen with psychedelics. It just can't, you know. It has to be, we have to proceed with respect and caution and science and the proper education around it so that people know how to use it. You know, it can't just be like Amsterdam, you know, where you go and you go into your smart shop. I mean, that's great, but at a certain point it becomes
I don't
like
think
this
it would
tourist
allow
attraction.
itself to be that though either.
Yeah.
Like there's something to me about like the way you just described that. I flashed on like a horror movie like Blade or something, where like all of these people are taking like pharmaceutical grade psilocybin, and then they have like one bad trip and the whole thing just unravels in this nightmarish way, because like almost like the mushrooms themselves would not allow themselves to be put into that.
I mean, they don't let you do your taxes. That's
They
for
don't
sure.
let you do your fucking taxes. Exactly.
Right.
They were like,
Right.
nope.
Yeah.
not
So
doing
like
that.
the idea of like
Right.
having to respect it,
Yeah.
because it's not gonna like let you do that to it.
Yeah.
I do believe that.
It'll tell you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
mushrooms will tell you
Yeah.
stop.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I think
Yeah.
so. We recently spoke to a mushroom activist who said basically that. He calls it the mushroom. He was
Mhm.
like, it will show you and tell you things.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
were listening to one of your tracks, Everything is Bullshit.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, that evolution of like the shit and the mushrooms and the consumption and then the...
Killing people from a distance. Yo, that was
Well,
a sick
yeah,
line.
so
I was like,
intense.
"Ooh, that's a good line.
Yeah.
That's an older track. But could we talk a little bit more about Time Capsule and some of the collaborations that you have on this album? Because I know you're wearing a Dinosaur Jr. t-shirt.
Sure.
Jay Maskus is amazing.
They're the only band I saw that was louder than Tool.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Dinosaur
That's-
Jr.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's just hard to do. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like best friends with Jay or anything. Like, I don't know him that well, but we met backstage when I played with Neil in Amsterdam at the Zego Dome in 2019, I think.
What's Neil's last name?
Neil Young.
Okay, I don't want to guess, but then I was like, I might want to guess. That's awesome.
Neil Diamond. No,
Yeah.
Grassy Tyson.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, you did some astronomy.
Neil Tyson and I, yeah.
That'd
we
be
did
tight. That'd be
a
tight.
TED talk in Amsterdam together. I was just scoring his talk in the corner. And after the show, Jay was there and he was really cool and said some nice things. And we just kind of became pen pals via email. And then he came to our show when Particle Kid played with Flaming Lips in Worcester. over on the East Coast, and yeah. And then I made this song. We just kind of send stuff back and forth, and I had this song, and I thought it would be cool for Jay Mascis to rip a guitar solo on it,
Fuck
Hell yeah.
and yeah,
And you've
then he
got
did.
Sean. Oh no, Lennon.
And Sean I met on the first tour we did with Flaming Lips, because it was Flaming Lips, Lennon Claypool, Delirium, Les Claypool and Sean Lennon's
from
band.
Primus. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then Particle Kid, and Sean and I hit it off immediately, and just shared music all the time, and I thought we always wanted to do something together, and I thought this song would be perfect collaboration. He would understand what to do. I just said, here, do whatever you want on this, and I was like, go ape shit, and he did. So.
And then your dad is on a couple tracks as well. How is it working with your father? Is it like do whatever you want kind of thing, or is it?
Sorry,
I mean, I know if I
hitting the
worked
mic.
with one of my parents on something, it would probably not go so well.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, here, you want to sing a verse on this or play or whatever? You know, we had already tracked. Both of the songs that he played on, though, were like that. They were during that session where we were quarantined in the studio.
Wow.
And we were rushing a lot. You know, I would just like American Life. That's the first and only time we played that song.
Really?
Is the-
Oh my gosh.
It was like I just taught it to the band like right then, and then we recorded it, and then we moved on to the next song, and that was it. I mean, we've played it a lot live since, and I think it's gotten a lot better now that we've played it more
awesome.
live, or it's just different. It's different. Like the album version is a lot mellower than the live version, but that song and All One Day, it was the same thing. It was just like, you know, I had to send the band home a week early from the session because I'm like, you guys better fly home now because you might not be able to in a few days.
Yeah.
And which was true. It was like they got out just in time to get back home.
Wild.
Wow.
And then we
That
were stuck there for months.
Final track, we've listened to it now
American
on the
Life.
way back from a comedy festival today. And today, I'm sorry, I'm like stealing your line, but I'm giving you full credit. Like, I'm stealing it, but I'm giving you full credit.
Sampling.
I'm saying it's an homage to your sentence.
Okay.
I was where we were listening to it, and Mary Jane, you go, oh, it feels like this is a record skip at the end of it, like that.
Oh yeah.
Was that kind of intentionality in there for you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It was like I wanted it to be like a skipping record that at some point you realize that, oh, it's not skipping. And then it goes on like way too long.
Mm.
You know, like you kind of want it to end at a certain point.
I did look at the time on the track, man.
Yeah.
Real. Yeah.
It's like life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't end it. You keep living. And then it becomes kind of, at least when I listen to it, at a certain point, it kind of becomes like just this sort of mantra, and you forget how long it's been. And then it's over. And then it's done. And then you're
Dude.
dead.
That's awesome.
Then you die.
Yeah.
Well, if you do feel comfortable and wanted to play a song or two, that feels like the appropriate time to, or we can keep rapping and hanging, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about anything else, or?
I mean, if you wanted to tune anything and get it ready, we can keep vamping and keep chatting with you until it's
Okay.
time. Because I've got a couple more questions for sure. Cool.
Yeah.
I think something that I have like struggled with through my own like identity, and my dad is not your dad, but I look exactly like my dad.
He's not?
He's not. Well, no, I don't. We should do a 23andMe,
Yeah, we should
though, right?
probably
Yeah, you should
get a
get that.
test. Yeah.
Figure it out.
So we'll end this with a quick swab and then get out of here. Cool.
I'm used to those by this point. Just stick it up there.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if like when you started deciding, you were like, I think I'm an artist and I think music is a really good outlet for a lot of the things I'm feeling. Did you start coming from that stuff that is just directly in your DNA through your family, or were you like, I'm going to go as far away from all of this as possible to figure out where I land in this landscape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Not
Oh, yeah.
even as a conscious, deliberate thing, though. It was just like,
Thanks, Alex.
this is the stuff I like, that I resonate with. And it's, you know, it's not maybe what people would expect, but I, you know, I'm like, everybody grows up listening to the music they like and discovering the music that impacts them and that makes them feel like, oh, I can relate to that, or like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
I want to do that. Oh, I love that. I want to try to do that. That's really all I've ever been thinking about, you know, especially in the beginning was just what sounds cool to me, you know, and that's all my dad ever did too. You know, he grew up in the 30s and 40s in Texas, you know, in Nashville, loving Gene Autry and Roy Rogers and, you know, Django Reinhardt.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I grew up in the 90s loving Flaming Lips and Sonic Youth and Dinosaur Jr. and, you know, Steve Reich and Danny Elfman, and like, you know, really into films. I was always wanted to be a filmmaker and surrealist artists, and like,
Are you a
know,
Bergman guy? Are you an Ingmar Bergman guy, or
I
like
don't know
who's your
what a
film guy?
Bergman guy really is.
I don't know. You talk about death a lot, and I just like always immediately think of Seventh Seal and just like the duality of playing chess on the beach in this like calm way that is leading towards the demise of your existence.
Yeah, I can hang with that.
Okay.
I'll have to revisit that one, actually.
I think I did an all right job. No pressure.
Yeah, I just watched it. Thanks. Let me see the best way to do this. Some say life's nothing but sucking your thumb and a tongue full of teeth in between. That might be true in some other dimension, in someone else's dream. I might not ever know you. Your love means nothing to me. In someone else's dream, I sailed across a tiny infinite stone just to dance here on your bones. But truth flies faster than the speed of lies in someone else's dream. Maybe love never dies. Maybe you're thinking of me in someone else's life. Some say life's nothing but lipping your gums and a lung full of maddening scenes. That's probably true in some other dimension, in someone else's dream. I might not ever know you. Your eyes don't paralyze me. In someone else's dream. In someone else's dream. You're just a pile of dirt. I never heard you scream. You never tore my shirt. In someone else's dream. I drove right by your house. Your room was dark and clean. In someone else's dream.
Wow. Someone else's dream.
Oh, wow. I can't believe we get to do this. This fucking hell, man.
Eat your heart out, NPR.
That was so great.
So beautiful.
Damn. I don't
Thank
know. You know, like you just like filled my whole brain with like color, shapes, and memories. Yeah, for real. Thank you. Are you tuning up for one more? You got...
What was your request?
It was gonna be Everything Is Bullshit.
All right.
A classic.
Gotta play the hits.
I mean,
So funny.
I won't be-
Song is a
I won't be at
popular song.
your show until 2042. So if I can get a little,
I'm going to come follow you around on the
Yeah,
road.
hopefully I'll see you before that.
Yeah, for sure.
Close enough for television.
For sure.
No, never mind. Here we go. That's okay. Sorry. This is an old guitar. Okay, there we go. Take 3. Sing along if you know the words. Everything, 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 everything is bullshit. It's bullshit. Everything, 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 everything is bullshit. It's bullshit. It came out of a bowl. It landed on the ground. It grew a little mushroom. And then a hairy ape man, he put it in his mouth. He started having thoughts, all kinds of ideas. Grew himself a little ego, invented a new language. But then he built a tower, designed a system of power. You know, I read it in the paper. He made a tiny computer that fits inside your hand. Communicate across the planet. Look back into the cosmos. Post a picture for your Facebook. Make a profile on your Snapchat. Murder people from a distance and laugh at videos of cats. Everything is bullshit. It's bullshit. Oh, everything is bullshit. Everything is bullshit. It's just a bunch of fucking bullshit. Oh boy. I know I love you. 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 I love you.
God damn it. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Micah, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And people, now they can find you on the road. You're on tour with the Flaming Lips for the next
Couple weeks.
couple weeks.
And then Time Capsule?
Time Capsule comes out where the music comes out in a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get on board.
Yeah.
Cannot believe it. This
Get
is so
a copy of the album, and I would love to come and see you perform live because I don't know, the whole thing just feels big and cool.
Yeah, come on out.
So-
Let me know. Hit me up.
Yeah,
If you guys
100%.
are near a show. Let
Yeah.
me know.
for sure.
Absolutely. All of a sudden I'm like, hey, like every show. What's up? Oh, weird, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you again, God.
And as always, all of this is in the show description. It's going to be in our link tree, so very easy to find.
Cool.
Very easy to find.
Yeah.
More of a Lynch guy?
Yeah.
David Lynch? Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, I'm not like, I don't have anything against Birdman. I just, I just never like dove as deep as I have with Lynch.
Cronenberg, maybe?
Cronenberg.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
Thanks,
This is so
Micah.
great. Thank you so much.
Thank
You can
you.
also follow us at Weed and Grub on Instagram. We're going to have a TikTok soon because we're supposed to. WG@weedandgrub.com is our email. Hit us up for anything, everything, all the time. Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and iTunes. And Micah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Come back
you.
anytime.
Real pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks.
See you next time.
Yeah.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
So formal.
Yeah.
Well.
We can high five
It's
if you
all
want.
official now.